After months of rumors about where Sarah Ferguson had gone, the clearest answer is finally much simpler than the speculation. She was not moving from one hideaway to another. She had reportedly been staying in the same Austrian chalet all along, and the first public images of her there have now turned a long-running mystery into a much more grounded timeline. On April 16, 2026, Ferguson was photographed outside a chalet in the Austrian Alps after months out of public view. New reporting now says that this was not a brief stop or a fresh move, but the same retreat where she had been staying during the period when rumors placed her in several other locations. If you follow Starline daily, subscribe, like, and share for more verified celebrity updates and trending entertainment news, because this story is really about what was confirmed after weeks of public guesswork. What makes the update stand out is how many competing versions of her whereabouts had been circulating. There had been suggestions that she spent time in Ireland, in Switzerland, or even with Priscilla Presley. But Presley's representative publicly denied that claim, and the latest reporting says Ferguson had in fact remained at the Austrian chalet through the period when those rumors kept building. That shift matters because it changes the story from a moving target mystery into something quieter. She appears to have been lying low in one place rather than drifting between publicized safe havens. The timeline also helps explain why the photos drew so much attention. Ferguson had not been photographed publicly since attending the christening of her granddaughter Athena, Princess Beatrice's second child, in December 2025. Even then, she and Andrew were reported to have attended quietly and were not pictured. Her last official public appearance before that was the Sept 16, 2025 funeral of Katharine, Duchess of Kent. So the Austrian sighting was not just another royal photo moment. It was the first visible confirmation in months of where she actually was. There is also a broader personal reset behind the story. Earlier reporting said Ferguson planned to spend time overseas while assessing her next moves and considering where she might live longer term. At the same time, sources had said she intended to forge an independent life rather than simply follow old assumptions about where she would end up next. That makes the Austrian chalet feel less like a vacation headline and more like a holding pattern during a period of uncertainty. What remains unconfirmed publicly is what permanent arrangement, if any, comes after this retreat. The reason the mystery attracted so much scrutiny is that it unfolded during a wider scandal around her ex-husband, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who was arrested in February 2026 on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He has denied wrongdoing. Ferguson herself has not been accused of wrongdoing in connection with Epstein, but her past association with him has brought renewed public attention and clearly intensified interest in her whereabouts. That context is important because it helps explain why even a simple sighting outside a chalet became a major update. And that is really the heart of this story. The biggest development is not a dramatic confrontation or a surprise return. It is that the rumors finally gave way to something specific and verifiable. Sarah Ferguson was seen in Austria, and reporting now says she had been in that same chalet throughout the period when public speculation kept sending the story in different directions. For viewers trying to understand why her name is back in headlines, that is the clearest why now angle. The mystery was never as sprawling as it sounded. It was simply unresolved until now. As of the latest available information, the clearest public update is that Ferguson has re-emerged after months out of sight, and that her Austrian retreat appears to have been her base the whole time. The open question is not where she was, but what comes next once this low-profile period ends, and whether she returns to public life in a more visible way. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting Starline Daily.